Well, thank you very much. It's a hard duty because to make the conclusion of this event is quite impossible in 5 minutes. But anyway, I can say that, or in my 2.5 minutes that I have for my speech, I can say that really it was a very important event where we have listened, and the most specialists in the fields of energy sector has expressed a lot of ideas that we needed to implement in our country or in our region. And it will be somehow like a plane for the duty of energy community and for the MEDREG in particular, because now that has been merged between the energy community and the MEDREG. We have listened here a lot of ideas, raising a lot of problems that in fact we are facing every day in our job. Not only in the national point of view, but in the regional point of view, because as we have passed quite the same situation, but not in this regard or in this context of the Mediterranean area, because it was much faster gathering in the common ideas. But anyway, I mentioned today that it was really a very impressive the quality of the presentation and the quality of the idea that has been presented and has been proposed in this event. So I see that the time is going. I don't want to take your time because it is very delicate equilibrium between to be content and to feel very tired. But I want to thank all participation and all speakers in this event for the very important ideas and very important arguments that has been raised. For sure that I want to let much more minutes to my colleague in respect of the position that she has. So I finish my speech, short speech, and I give the floor to my colleague. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Madame la Présidente, Messieurs les membres de la Commission européenne que j'aperçois, Mesdames et Messieurs les régulateurs et les experts, I must say that it's a privilege to make the conclusion after the other conclusion. Also, it's a privilege not to have any PowerPoint, which means I've been listening to all the exchanges during the day. I realized that the title of the forum, at the forefront of proactive and resilient energy regulation, it's a very wide subject, and we could have all kind of subjects on exchanges. But it has been focused on gas, on renewable mostly. I must say I was a bit afraid because of the title that it would be like what we call an auberge espagnole, a Spanish auberge with everything. But it was very interesting to realize that MEDREG is not a gathering of regulators doing regulation for regulation, because sometimes this is a risk. I found out that within MEDREG, it's a real exchange platform, but also it's pragmatic, which means it's coming to practical and pragmatic solution, exchanges between countries. From today, I've been taking notes, which are falling. I was very interesting by the set of the picture of Mr. Vasconcelos this morning, because he could have done the conclusion. 3 points he stressed was decarbonization, neutral climate, on the role of consumer, which sometimes we are forgetting. And today I was quite happy to see that the consumer, what you call sometimes prosumer, was at the center of our objective at the end of the chain we are building. So MEDREG is not only for integration of markets, for digitalization or technical solution to share, but it's also ambition on challenges which are appearing, on which are changing every day. We have been also speaking of finance, which is a point sometimes we forget because we are a bit in the abstraction. We have been speaking of real subjects. We have been traveling between Algeria, Italy, Portugal, Turkey, Jordania, with all experiences. I probably forget some, but the day was long. As Benoit Hainaut stressed, we are trying to be creative, and that's a word I keep in mind. MEDREG is a conjugation, a mix of European vision, but it's not only coming from the top, but also from the bottom with local visions. And this is how we can facilitate the improvement of the energy sector between exchanging north and south, east and west. Also, we are involving some shareholders, like we saw, like the last Turkish president of TANAP, someone from GRT Gaz this morning. I think we should improve also to have stakeholders coming to exchange experience. So just to say we are not in the abstraction, we are very concrete. I would say that, as Mr. Besseghini at one stage said, is the king of the tweets. So he said we have to build. Really, MEDREG is building in transition times, and regulators also are in transition, and they have to keep with the market, with the evolutions. So I would say that we have a lot of work to do, a lot in front of us, but with the help and the involvement of everyone, from the Commission, from the stakeholders, from the regulators, we can improve all the energy sector for Europe and for the Mediterranean continent. Thank you.
I want to congratulate my colleague again. And because by the formal point of view, we have agreed that she will be one voice of the vice presidents, because the meeting has been opened by the president, and now it's going to conclude by the vice presidents. So, yeah. So thank you very much. It was really a great pleasure hearing the old ideas that you have expressed, and I believe that it will be more often this kind of activity, because the process and the technology and the process in the field, it's going much faster than before. Thank you very much, and have a nice trip now after this meeting.